Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Radnor Township Design Review Board meeting. Before we get started, I'm going to ask Tim to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you all stand, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we get started, I think most of you have been here before, but just to go over the ground rules, these meetings are televised live. So when you approach the podium, please tell us who you are and the business you represent, and you can lay your plans out at the table next to the podium. So our first applicant tonight is DRB 2021-67, the application at Westfists Bank at 330 East Lancaster Avenue in Wayne. And this is a continuation, I believe, from last month or 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, October.
Okay. Nice to have you here.
Nice to see you again. Thank you.
Okay. Kevin, is it okay if she takes her mask off?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Do you have the microphone?
Sure.
Or, okay.
And I think you heard that. You can take your mask off. Okay. Whoops. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, well, good evening. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all again. My name is Karen Greenlee. I'm at Pro Signs, and I'm here for Westfists, our project that we have a proposal for on 330 West Lancaster Avenue. Oh, there you go. Okay.
So Karen, we approved some of the signage at the last meeting, but there was a couple things on the building that we were going to take a second look at, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
So we had a full proposal for a rebranding of this building, and we were happy. Is this not working at all? I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah? All right.
Okay.
So we did have a few of our signs already approved, and we went through the building permit process. So we do have a building permit for most of the signs. The things that were left were originally 3 wall signs that we had proposed for this building. As you can see, we do have a new proposal. So originally, we were going to have this wall set here. This is sign E03, and this is the one that's facing Pembroke. So our original proposal was for 36.7 square feet, and so we have made this a little bit smaller. So it is now, I think, 15 and a half square feet less overall. And we are moving it down on the building so that it's going to be replacing the original placement. Originally, we had it quite a bit higher up and more centered, if you'll remember, and so we've decided
Right.
to move it down.
So it's in the same location as the prior sign?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Good.
Oh, I always do that, pull it way too far. There you go.
And it looks like the square footage of the old sign is pretty much what you're putting up now.
Give or take a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
I unfortunately don't have the original existing square footage, but it is pretty close.
Yeah, I had written down 22.5.
That sounds
Yeah.
about right,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. All right, good. Non-illuminated, correct?
These are non-illuminated.
Okay.
They're just flat-cut aluminum letters.
You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Tim, you're good? Jane, you're good? Okay, good. Your mic's off. Okay.
This is better than the last one.
All right, good.
Good, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Next one?
And so then our next one, and you'll probably remember that we did have a proposal for the elevation that was facing Lancaster Avenue. So we've decided to forgo that sign. So that is not a part of our proposal anymore. So the second sign that we have is the one that is facing the parking lot. And so originally, we had this as our proposed sign was going to be illuminated channel letters. And so we have changed them to be non-illuminated flat cut letters again. And they're in the same position as the other existing sign, but we kept it at the same square footage that we had originally proposed.
But a lot larger than had been there prior.
For the BMT, correct, but
Yes.
this was the same size that we had proposed originally. This is 36 square feet.
Right.
Do you recall what it is off the ground there?
The height, did we figure out what the clearance to grade was? I'm not sure that we ever knew that, just because we're putting it in the same spot. So whatever it is existing, it is gonna stay the same.
They may have gotten a variance
But
for that.
honestly, I'm not sure.
And that's the next question I had is, do we have a variance on this, or?
There was a relief that was granted for signs for this, for the height, yes.
Kevin, how do we handle it, since the sign is quite a bit larger than was there prior?
Again, I'd have to go back and look at the specifics, but typically the relief that's granted is for the exact size and location of what was shown. So if it's going to be bigger than what was there, that could be a problem. I don't know. I think I forwarded you that the variance decision. So
I
don't-
actually, yep, I did get the decision, and I have the transcript from Norma Garrity. She was nice enough to send that to me, and it doesn't mention it.
And I think the other provision is the size is, it may still be compliant in the overall wall size, so that may not be an issue from that standpoint. So if they were only going for height and not an area, then that wouldn't be an issue.
Right, as we do get 50 square feet
Right.
for the frontage,
Right,
yeah.
and you're
So
under
it is,
50.
it is a little bit lower than
Yeah,
that, yeah.
okay. All right, good. You guys good with it then? Tim? Jane?
It's good that they're not lighted up, but they're still very big.
How does that sign compare in terms of size to the one that's on the other?
On the other elevation,
Yeah.
the one towards Pembroke, it is quite a bit smaller. So this is 30 inches high. The letters are 30 inches high, and the other one are 23.
So the sign that's higher up off the ground is smaller than the one that's lower?
That's correct. This one, we would really like to keep this larger just because of the way that traffic is going to be seeing the building. So when you come down 30, when you come down Lancaster, and then also when you pull into the parking lot, we felt that this would be like the main sign that you would see. And since Pembroke is actually facing a residential area, we thought that that would be the better one to have be smaller, so that it was less inobtrusive, I guess, less obtrusive
right.
towards the residential area. But this is facing the parking lot and 30.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought, looking at it. If it's facing the parking lot, why does it have to be so big? 30-inch letters?
It's
Yeah.
so that you can see it coming down the street.
Do you think you will
Yeah.
see it?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going east on 30?
I would think so.
Okay, because it's set back pretty far off the road.
Well,
There's really not much in the way of obstruction coming that direction on 30.
yeah.
sorry.
No,
Looking at some of the elevations that we had, there's not much obstructing it coming up 30th Street, so that makes it visible. Going much smaller, we're really going to lose a lot of impact and visibility.
Okay.
Well,
Did you-
how would reducing it by 7 inches so it's the same size as the other one reduce the impact on visibility? If you're saying it's clear that you can see the 30-inch letters, wouldn't you be able to see the 23-inch letters just as
When we
easily?
looked at elevations, the smaller signs just didn't have the impact.
Well, did you ever wonder how people found the Bryn Mawr Trust? Their sign was a lot smaller.
They had signs on all 3 sides of their building.
No, I think people just knew where the bank was. That's also, I think people know where they're banking.
but this is a new bank.
Well, and I mean, the concept of impact, I mean, that isn't really availing. I mean, one of the concepts that we try to do as a board here is to keep the aesthetics within what we are, the rest of the township. If you have one building where you have massive letters up there, then you're throwing that out of skew. So if you're trying to have more impact than the neighbor next to you, we're kind of here to keep that from happening.
I understand what you're saying, but I think as Karen was indicating, we're going to be new in this area. We want to maintain both the customers that we have and some of the new customers that we can attract. We're not putting in an illuminated sign, and I would say, in our opinion, it's not overly large. It's similar to the size signs that we put in most locations, so we don't feel that we're making an unreasonable request.
You know, is it Citibank or Chase Bank that's down the middle of the block? The other bank on Lancaster Avenue,
East or west?
going west on the right side.
Same side as this?
No, the other side. It's on the opposite side.
There's a Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo right by the corner?
Yeah, there's a Wells Fargo, but there's one in the middle of the bank, too. I don't think their signs are as big as this.
Probably not, yeah. Well, I guess they're allowed that square footage.
Well, the
I'm sure
concept
they're
of
allowed
this,
up to 50 square feet. It's a pretty big wall they're putting it on, so,
but that also, there's the balance between the size and the height.
No, I-
Here
yeah.
you have it elevated up higher.
no, I agree. I think it's too large also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Yeah.
I just don't think it fits the building nicely there. I think from an aesthetics, I think it's too large.
Yeah.
That's my own personal observation of this design.
Mhm.
I would say keeping it consistent with the other size. I mean, you already are taking it from, I don't even know, what, 3 or 4 inch letter high
Right.
sign there. So,
Yeah, certainly that sign was more for people in the parking lot, I guess.
yeah, you're already in the parking
Yeah.
lot at that point.
Mhm.
It's just
Right.
making sure you know where the entrance, more or less,
Mhm.
it's so that
Yeah.
you direct people to where the actual entrance
Yeah.
is.
And
The-
don't they have a
The
mi-
DMT had a sign on their front, though, on the Lancaster Avenue, like actually facing on Lancaster Avenue, that
And-
we're not going
Right.
to have.
We're not precluding you from having that sign.
No.
That's a decision that you've made.
No, I understand that, but I think that that was sort of the reasoning behind it, that we have a larger sign there, so that way we don't have 2 signs.
But you do have 2 signs, because you have a sign on a monument in front. Isn't there a
Well,
sign
2
on
wall
a...
signs.
Yeah.
But
No,
is-
it's okay.
so- You have a sign out on Lancaster Avenue.
We do.
Facing
Yep.
east and
We have,
west.
we have a ground sign out there, yes.
So isn't this redundant?
Well, like I said,
Not
it's-
in my opinion.
Yeah. So it is one of those things, they are allowed up to 50 square feet.
Well,
I do
know
think
they're
it's,
allowed
I
to
think
do
it's
it, but
very
they
large.
also,
Yeah.
already have a sign.
Sure, exactly. So Kevin, want to help us out on that?
Well, obviously, the code does not get into lettering height, but this board has done a very good job of bringing the signs, maintaining consistency along the corridor. So when applicants have come in and this board has felt that the signs are too big, you've made a recommendation to reduce the sign letter height. I mean, that's within the purview of this board.
What's the neighboring business?
The neighboring, right on the same side of the street,
Yeah,
or across the
just-
street is the Jaguar dealership.
No, I'm sorry, just west of that sign.
It's another BMT building, but
Yeah.
it's an office
Oh,
building.
the
It's
office building on-
322 Lancaster
The
Avenue.
one you purchased recently, I guess?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
And then there's a house, an old house.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That house is
used
the
to be the
building that
post
I'm
office.
talking about.
Right, okay.
And
Yeah,
we're-
so
then there's
there's
CVS.
400 is on the other side,
Yeah.
which is, again, a Westfists building. But it's a house.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And then there's the CVS, which
Well-
sign is smaller than this.
Well, what do we want to do here? You guys give in a little bit, keep it consistent, go down to 23?
Well, the 23 is actually a lot smaller than our normal standards for Westfists. So we have a 36-inch sign, a 30-inch sign. So this was the smaller version of
Okay.
our 2 that we have.
Right. I mean, these are 12-inch letters there,
Correct.
so you're going, I mean, look at those and, yeah, not 3 times, but close to 3 times that size.
It looks like a radio station. If it's that large, like radio
Yeah.
station.
All right, well, I know you guys want to change the sign, and we don't want you to come back a 3rd time, so,
Right.
yeah, so we're,
That
We're
would be
kinda
our
a little bit
preference,
of a
right? That we
standstill
just
here,
de-
so.
decide this now.
okay.
Well, again, this board can make a recommendation, and then the applicant can appeal that to the commissioners if they so choose. There have been 1 or 2 instances in my tenure here that has happened on the lettering height. It doesn't happen often in the 10 years I've been here. Or you can just make a flat-out recommendation to deny the application. So you you can either approve it as submitted, approve it with a change that you feel is appropriate, or deny it.
Probably more have to go with the change, I don't know about you.
Yeah,
23
I don't want to
inches.
deny it.
'Cause
no,
the others-
I'll
Yeah,
recommend,
no.
yeah.
Okay.
And I like the fact they're not illuminated.
Yes, well, that's a plus, so, yeah, okay, you want to run with that?
Yeah.
Well, Any other further comments for our board or questions, or
If we accept the reduction in size, would be likely we can get this all approved tonight?
Yes.
Okay, then we accept.
Okay, good. All right, Tim, you want to make that motion?
In the matter of DRB 2021-67, I move to approve the application with the reduction of the second sign, sign E04, from the 30-inch letters down to a 23-inch letter size, consistent with the other sign that is part of this application.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Great,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
that, thanks. Okay, next on the agenda tonight is DRB 2021-68, the application of Beacon Commercial from City Sign at 234 South Bryn Mawr Avenue in Wayne. Hi there.
Good evening.
My name is Jeff Carson.
You can take that off, Jeff, thanks.
Thank you very much. My
Okay.
name is Jeff Carson. I'm here this evening on behalf of City Sign and Beacon Commercial.
Mhm.
Beacon purchased the building, the multi-story, multi-tenant commercial building at 234 South Bryn Mawr Avenue. There is an existing illuminated monument sign there. They're looking to replace it. The condition of the sign is such that it's not salvageable for renovation. It's basically falling apart. The new sign meets the criteria and the standards for the zoning ordinance in C1 district. We're going to have 28 square feet where the code allows for 30, and our sign height will not be more than 8 feet.
Will-
There's no other, I'm sorry.
Will
go
not
ahead.
be illuminated?
It will be internally
It
illuminated.
will be, okay.
Yes, sir. The existing is internally illuminated. This would be as well.
Okay.
There's no other signage on the property. Nothing on the building, no other ground signs, no directionals. The intent is to prominently display the address so that people who are on South Bryn Mawr can see the 234 building address. And then there's limited slats for up to 5 tenants. The property does have the propensity or the capability, to occupy or have 5 tenants. There are 3 at present.
Okay, good.
And I did bring a piece of material to show you that this color finishes are metallic silver for the body.
And in terms of the lighting, is the logo, is that something that will be illuminated?
It's routed and pushed through, so only the logo illuminates in that top header section. Yes, sir. The background will be opaque because it will be the metallic silver aluminum that'll be automotive finished.
So at nighttime, the only thing we're going to see is the business names,
Yes,
the
sir.
logo,
That's exactly right.
and 234.
Yes, sir, that's exactly right.
All right. So Jeff, there's, I know in your application, you talk about changing the landscaping and taking down part of the fence.
The brick pier, some of the piers are in bad shape. They're not going to be removed, but they're going to repair them and they're going to correct them. And a lot of the wrought iron that's there is in bad shape also, so
Okay.
they're going to fix that also. The section that's closer to the end is going to require the most amount of repair. The landscaping is all old and overgrown, so they're going to change that so that it doesn't kind of be growing over the masonry piers and it doesn't obscure the sign.
So this should allow the sign a little more visibility.
It
then.
should allow for more visibility, that's
Okay.
correct, yes.
All right, good.
The piers are relatively low, they're only about 30 inches, so they'll be basically at the same height that the shroud is. But the landscaping was so, overgrown and
Right.
kind of dead in spots that it would have obscured the bottom portion of the tenants' names as it does right now.
Okay. And how far off the road is it? Hopefully at least 10 feet.
I think I'm at least 10 feet off the road.
Okay.
The pier that's there
It looks
is
like that's-
obviously the buffer between the sign and the curb line, but I'm
Okay.
pretty sure we have to be pretty close to 10
Okay.
feet, if not a little bit
You'll
more.
double check that.
Yes,
Okay.
I can.
What else, guys, Jane? You like it?
And the landscaping definitely could use some.
The whole property's being cleaned up. They're-
Renovation.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, it needs
painting
to-
the building, they've been
yeah.
power washing the masonry, they're trying to clean everything up. The intent was to buy it and invest in it and make an improvement.
So Jeff, I'm sure you've been on the property. No issues with sight line pulling out or anything with that sign?
That's one thing that I was very careful about. There is not. I mean,
Okay.
there's probably even more likelihood that the piers would be an issue, but the piers are, again, they're back a spell.
Right.
There's plenty of room to be able to pull out and to be able to see left up towards Bryn Mawr Hospital. There are no issues, obviously, going to the right.
Okay. That meets the code, it meets
Yeah,
the square
I think
footage.
it's good. I think it's a nice
30.
improvement. I drive by that maybe half dozen or more times a week for the
Yeah.
past however long I've been here.
Yeah,
Okay.
the sign that's there now is actually three-sided, so that actually makes it have even greater presence
Yeah.
because of the way it was built. And, you know, it's basically just falling apart on itself, mostly because a lot of it's steel and it's just rusted away. But this is just two-sided, and it'll have a much better presence and take up less space in that flower bed.
Good.
Perfect.
Okay, Jane, any other questions?
No, I
Jeff?
think it's good.
Okay, Jeff, any questions for the board?
None for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jane, you want to take this one?
All right.
Kevin, you're okay? Okay, good.
I move to approve DRB 2021-68, a sign at 234 South Bryn Mawr Avenue in Bryn Mawr.
Here, a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very
Jeff.
much. You have a great evening.
Yeah,
Thank you.
too.
Thank you.
Next is DRB 2021-69, the application of Chapman Windows and Doors at 503 West Lancaster Avenue, which is in the Eagle Village Shopping Center, for one wall sign.
Hello.
Hiya.
I'm Lou Silverblank from Fast Signs. I'm representing the owners of Chapman Signs. We're proposing one sign on this building. The frontage is 20 feet. I believe they're allowed 40 square feet of signage. The proposed sign is 13 square feet. Here is the picture of the sign. It's going in the exact same location as the previous sign, which was, I believe, Freeman's Auction House. The shape is somewhat different, but the location and size is roughly the same. This may be a little bit smaller. The sign is made of high-density urethane. It's V-routed. It's 4 colors, which I have in my write-up. It's maroon Pantone 492C, gray Pantone 11, black and white. I'm not sure if you need this here. This is in Eagle Village, and the location is this store right there, number 1100. And let me see. The installation is in compliance with the ordinance in that we will be going through the face with the fasteners, but we're going to plug them with high-density urethane plugs and paint over them with the same background paint. So I find that this is a safer way to install these signs, and that's about it.
Pretty simple.
Yep.
Yeah? What do you guys think?
Looks clean.
Jane?
Looks
Yeah.
nice.
That's good. So no
The
lighting,
awning's
but you
there.
got a lamp right out front, so
Right.
you'll get
there's-
illumination from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no gooseneck lighting, nothing like. I don't
Okay.
think there's room for it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, you guys good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim.
In the matter of DRB 2021-69, I move to approve the application.
Here, a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Lou.
you very much.
And don't run off. I know you're on again, so. Okay. Next is DRB 2021-70, the application of Nick and Zoe at 503 West Lancaster Avenue, Suite 520. And Lou, you're on again.
Yep, this is also in Eagle Village. It's at a different location. This is where the old, it used to be Ferber's, Jacques Ferber's
Jacques
fur.
Ferber, yeah.
So we're proposing 2 signs for that location. Let me just see, we did the calculations. The frontage of that building is 24 lineal feet. The side of the building, because it's on a corner, I believe that we can include that. That's 44 feet. I believe we're allowed 50 square feet in total signage. We're proposing 17 and a half square feet, which is approximately the same as what was there for Jacques Ferber. Their signs were oval, but they're in the same location and roughly the same size. With this building, we don't have a lot of leeway in
Right.
terms of what we can do. So the first sign on the, let me see. On the front of the building, as you can see, there's really almost no place to put this sign. That is where Jacques Ferber's sign was before. It's well within the height requirement. The sign is, I should mention that this sign is made of dimensional letters. There will be aluminum letters that are mounted on a high-density urethane backer. The backer is 1 inch thick. The letters will be a 1/2 inch thick. They are pin-mounted into the high-density urethane backer. The installation is the same type of installation as the other sign, in that we're going to go through the face, plug the holes, and paint over them, so you will not see any fasteners on the face. So that's it for sign number 1. Sign number 2, which goes on the side of the building, again, that's exactly where the sign for Jacques Ferber was, roughly the same size, and the same construction as the previous one, 1 inch high-density urethane backer and 1/2 inch dimensional aluminum letters pin-mounted to the backer.
Pretty cut and dry.
Yep.
Yeah. It's funny, I mentioned to Lou just before the meeting, and the sign over the windows.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like the location of it, but Jacques Ferber was there, and I guess we could certainly live with it, but
Yeah, with the, I'm sorry, with the roof slope, we have very
I know.
very little
It's a tough
leeway.
location.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
And to be perfectly honest, I don't like a rectangle there either.
Right, yeah.
But that's their branding.
Sure, sure.
And, yeah.
Okay. I'm sure we can live with it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about window signs? What about your window signs
Um,
and the address?
I'm not aware of any window signs at this point.
Okay. All right, good.
Is the address on the building?
Yeah, Lou, if we can just make sure the address is on the front door or
Yes.
somewhere.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, like, one
Yep.
car is blocking out the front door.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Any other questions, Lou, for us? Lou, any questions for the board?
No.
No, you're good? Tim, you're good? Yep. Jane, you're good?
Yeah,
Want to take it?
Yep. Okay. For DRB 2021-7, oh dear, I can't read it. 70. The Nick and Zoe sign in Spread Eagle Village. I move for approval.
Here,
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Lou. Appreciate it.
I hope you all have a wonderful holiday.
You too.
You
Thanks,
too.
thanks, Lou. Okay, next we're just going to switch things around a little bit. Villanova was nice enough to let this gentleman go ahead of them. He's traveled 3 hours from Maryland, so we want to get him in and out of here so he can make his way back home. So it's applicant DRB 2021-72, the application of Milano Design at 112 North Wayne Avenue in Wayne for wall signage. Hello, sir.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for all.
You can take your mask off.
Oh, sure. Thank you. And my name is Muhittin Aydınız. I'm associate architect and also designer and representative of the company. And I have electronic copy. Would
Well-
you like me to use that one, or do you want to get just?
You can use these plans. And there's a handheld there if it'd be easier for you.
This is a Milano Design Build, is a construction company, basically, design center. And we took over the place, and that was an existing business at the current location. I'm sorry, You had asked a question, or you?
No, go ahead.
Okay,
You
yeah.
walk us through.
The
Yeah.
existing business is moved, and there was already existing signage location in front of the buildings, and it's different colors, white. And we keep the existing sizes of the frame, and we propose the letters in different size, and change the color, background, and not just only a background of the where the sign is coming, as well as a framing of the aluminum there on the windows. This is the strip lines. It's going to be in the black color with exterior compliance and the materials. This is the exactly scale sizes and where they're located and where it's going to be kitchen bath. The Milano is going to be middle and design build. The Milano is a little larger than kitchen and bath, and I think Milano is going to be like around 11 inches high, ladder, and kitchen and bath is going to be like between 8 to 9 inches. And the only one thing I just want to correct, and based on the regulation, it should be 50 square feet, the signage area, which is 50 square feet actually. This dimension is not right. It's going to be 22 inches. Basically, we have 27 feet, 8 inches length, 22 inches and the height of the panel, the existing panel that's shown here. Basically, this is like approximately 50 square feet.
So you're saying the panel's 50 square
Panel's gonna,
feet?
yes.
Panel, okay, and your actual
panels-
size
Yep,
of the sign
I
is?
oversized actually, measurement is not right.
Okay,
It's gonna be 22 inches existing panel height.
okay.
This is like different perspectives and how it's gonna looks like, and the letters is gonna be made with a front lead, a white front light and a front lead and lights, and the framing of the letter is gonna be silver color. And I didn't touch here, I'm sorry. And then there is another one, and the wall, and this is also existing, and there was an existing business in the signage location. We just put our sign there.
Well, to be honest with you, we don't have it on the application for the projecting sign, so you're gonna have to come back for that. We have no plans for that, and it's not on our application.
Oh, I didn't fill out that portion, probably.
I
missed
didn't
that.
see it, so, Kevin?
I was thinking I probably clicked that option too, but if no, I can.
Yeah.
I've never seen
No,
anything like that on the
no.
street.
Well, we've started to allow those, and they're popping up without permits and stuff. Kevin?
Correct, it's not on the application.
Okay.
So, I mean, if
So-
you want to give him some feedback now, but he would have to come back and reapply for that, if that's something
Sure.
that you would
Okay.
consider.
All right.
And this is just description of the letters, channel style letter, and description. It's gonna be matte black paint or actually and plastic materials. Like depends on the allowance. And, I'm talking about the framing of the windows, existing windows.
I think it's going to look pretty hip for downtown Wayne. The only question I have, and I'll ask the board this, is there a little too much text? Milano,
Are all these letters lit? Are all the letters lit?
The
It's gonna be pretty bright.
it's gonna be front light, front lead only.
but everything will be lit?
Yes, everything
Okay.
is gonna be lit, and including framing of Milano.
Right. So what's the actual name of the business?
The Milano design.
Okay.
That's why we put to the another one corner Milano Design and Build, basically business name.
Okay. Jim?
Yeah, so under the code then, the kitchen, bath, design, build, there's stuff that's not permitted in the sign.
I think so.
And in the code, it doesn't allow for descriptions of the activity, but we see this oftentimes with like a pizzeria that wants to say pizzas, hoagies, strombolis.
The problem is for this company, the Milano Design and Build is the construction company, and this is the primer description of the company, because there's a lot of construction companies who does high-rise buildings or who does civil work, like road or civil engineering, whatever. This is specifically referred to interior kitchen and bath specific one.
Yeah.
If we don't put this one here and the business losing its identity,
Right.
it's completely, and cannot be without that description, this
Yeah.
business.
I don't have a problem with Milano Design Build.
No, that's the name of the business.
Yeah, I think kitchen and bath maybe could be
No,
an application in a window possibly.
that's what I would say.
Yeah.
This is our second location. There's
Yeah.
another location in Maryland,
Mhm.
exactly same like Milano Design Kitchen
Yeah.
and Bath.
The problem is if you got rid of kitchen and bath, then how do you center design build? You know what
And
I'm
people
saying?
should know that this is like architecture firm or engineering firm or
Mhm.
retail space or what we sell. And that's the main reason identification of the
No, I
business.
understand, yeah. What you thinking there?
I think, I mean,
Well, go back to the,
this is the type of stuff, like Jane was saying, this is the type of stuff that can go in the window.
Yeah, I think we've allowed basically a description of the building, or of the business, but not so much, like you said, soda, hoagies, or whatever. You know, kind of like New Wayne Pizzas, you know, kind of identifies it as a restaurant, fast food place, but it's not New Wayne Pizza, soda, hoagies, you know, Strombolis or something. So, like I said, I don't have a problem, Milano
Design
Design
build.
Build. I guess that's what he's got on that projecting sign.
Yeah,
Right. But I'm not too sure kitchen and bath goes up there.
right.
Yeah.
couldn't they redesign the long sign to be their logo sign and put design and build underneath?
And on the wall or for this portion? We didn't want to put it here because it's going to be too small, design build.
Mhm.
That's why we moved the logo. This is the actual logo, Milano Design Build. But design build is, it's too generic term that come with logo. That's why we proposed kitchen and bath and things.
Is the
Basi-
name of the business actually spelled with a Z and not an S?
Because this is Italian background company,
Yeah,
the Z is coming from there.
okay.
Basically, our stuff also is going to be coming from Italy. That's why.
There's an inconsistency between the sign on the one sign and then design on the
Oh, I
projecting
got you.
sign. They spell it differently on both.
Oh, I'm sorry.
locations.
That's a good point.
That's why I was curious.
Yeah, there's a little conflict there. Actually, we have a discussion with the owner, and we may need to change as a Z. With, I agree.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, how close are you guys to opening up?
Right now it's under construction. We're gonna take over, I think, in January 15. Then we're gonna start to build interior. Right now, they already got the permit for interior work.
Well, let me just throw this at you. We can't approve the projecting sign, so you're gonna have to come back with that.
Sure, that's fine.
Do you want to come back with other
Yeah,
changes to the wall
no
sign?
problem, no problem.
Since you're gonna have to come back anyway?
Yes,
How
I just
about
want to
that?
make sure this kitchen bath sign is gonna be there. This is the
Well,
No, it's not.
identification
I-
of business.
you have an opportunity to put that identification in your window.
You can use up to 20% of your window for vinyl signage in the window.
We did not know the local regulations, so we
Yeah.
saw a few sample business that think they do. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw like kitchen and bath signs, if I'm not mistaken, and a few of them. Like maybe it's not in this county, probably
Okay.
township. That's the main reason we didn't think about it before.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we do a continuation,
Yeah.
if that's okay? And have gentlemen come back.
Something like that.
Yeah.
They
Have-
could put Milano on the end, design build in the middle, Milano on the back,
Yeah.
on the far
Yeah.
end.
Kevin, are you agreeable to that?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. One thing that you will need to submit are sign calculations. It's required as part of the application. We missed that when we went through that. It actually should have been rejected. So make sure you bring sign calculations in because this looks like it's taking up the entire frontage of the storefront. And there are a couple new businesses that take advantage of that window signage. Take a look at the Brunos. I think that they were very successful in limiting the wall signage, but then taking advantage of the window signage and the vinyl there to further promote, the different products that they sell and do. And I think
Gotcha.
there's a really good advantage to do that here on North Wayne.
How about if you reduce the size of the letters for kitchen and bath, that to keep the same or locations? There's no
I think
any.
it's gotta go.
Unfortunately, that's nothing that this board can give you relief on. It's an issue in the code, and this board does not have the authority to grant that relief.
The code says that the actual contents of the sign are the name of the business and a logo and the address. Essentially, that's what you can have on there.
Yeah.
So I believe all that's online, so the applicant can go online.
Yes, or you can reach out to us and we can provide him with the link.
Right.
Okay.
And the information about the projecting sign, too. There's a lot of
Sure.
restrictions on the projecting sign, so.
Sure.
Okay.
So there are ways, you have a beautiful logo. There are ways that you can incorporate that, I think. Jane was
Yeah.
up here doodling even, just kind of doing some type of concepts.
Yeah.
But the kitchen and bath would have to drop down
Into the window.
into the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can come up with a couple
And
different
that's
plans.
something that if you want, you can submit the vinyls, the window signage. That's something that we can look at too.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kevin
Okay.
mentioned the Bruno Brothers, which is a new store in Wayne. I don't know if you're familiar with the Farmers Market in Wayne, but they're within the Farmers Market complex, and you can take a look at.
Sure.
They did a
I will.
beautiful job there,
We worked with them closely on getting that done too, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as time isn't a problem, and it doesn't seem to be, how about if we see you next month and,
Okay.
okay?
Mr. Chairman, the other thing I would offer, is if we start pushing into a timeline, he can apply for a temporary banner. There's not a whole lot of restrictions on that in terms of the design of it. That wouldn't be in front of this board. That's something that's typically issued over the counter while they're going through this process. So they could apply for that if they are getting close to crunch time to opening up, put that up while then they're still working out the details of the finish sign.
Right, 30 days.
Sounds like you
Right.
said you're taking possession of the building to do the interior work coming in January?
Yes. Right now, the owner actually took over and released the permit with their own teams to issue the interior and give it to us.
Okay.
Uh,
So
we're
you're
gonna
actually
just install
opening
the-
for the public is ETA when?
The March,
Okay.
as we targeted. One more question. Is there any like code modifications for such things, that kitchen and bath?
I'm sorry, any what?
Code modifications. Is there anything applicable
That's
like
something we
kind
can't do. That would be something you'd have to, if you're trying to get a variance or some
Gotcha.
type of relief from the code, that's something that,
Okay, because this
can't
is,
do.
I'm just repeating because this is really, really important for this business.
Okay.
It means like without nothing, this business, kitchen and bath, there's no kitchen and bath word in the on the table, and there's no this business.
Okay.
That's why we have to, we may come with some solution
Mhm.
to make it work.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay, so, any other questions? You're good? Okay. I'm trying to think whose turn it is.
I'll take it.
Okay,
Matter of DRB 2021-72, move to continue.
okay, here a second.
I second.
Okay, Kevin, you're good with that? Yes, sir. Okay, all right. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, sir, have a safe drive back, and guess we'll see you in the new year, all right? Okay, good. Yes, please. And just as a reminder, your corrected, excuse me, your corrected plans have to be in the township office by December 22nd. Okay, so, yeah, so December 22nd, and our meeting is going to be January 12th. Okay, thanks a lot. All right, thank you, Villanova University, for letting that gentleman go. And Villanova is up next, and it's DRB 2021-71, the application of Villanova University at 800 East Lancaster Avenue in Villanova for a building expansion.
give us a moment to set
Take
up?
your time.
Is that all right?
Take your time. All right, welcome.
Hi there.
Hi.
Good evening. I'm Kevin Smith, speaking on behalf of Villanova University.
Yeah.
Robert Stern Architects.
Nice to have you here.
I had 2 hours and only 45 minutes, so it wasn't such a bad trip.
Okay, all right, good.
Here to talk about the Center for Engineering, Education, and Research expansion on Lancaster Avenue, and just in general, this is, you can see on the plan there, it's an addition to the existing Sear complex. We call it Sear, which was built in the 90s, and it is to the south and east, and significant new construction and a reconfiguration, really, of the parking area. So there's actually a reduction in total parking. So you can see it here. I'll just describe the landscape and site plan in more detail later, but reconfiguring the road that is up next to Tollentine Hall, which is, as you know, one of the major buildings on the university, and then reconfiguring that and providing also a lot of stormwater management in the process.
Okay, good.
So these are existing views of the building, which is a very, very light-colored stone, which is not at all consistent with the overall palette of materials on the university. So these are 3 existing views. The bottom one is looking across from Lancaster up the hill with the Tollentine Hall on the right. And just views that are generated from computer models of what the new building will look like. It is covered in stone, which is really in the palette of most of the buildings on campus. A cast stone trim for the finer things, and this kind of rubble stone. It has a roof, which is it is actually it's an asphalt shingle that is the same that has been used on the commons across the street. So really ties it together, and we have, I think, done a pretty nice job of fitting this into the campus. So that's the building. This is the palette of materials, and most of that is in front of, or to my left. Here, it doesn't show quite as well as it does here, but it's much warmer. It's a warmer palette than the building that is there now. It ties in together with the building called Monastery, and so it is that a similar dark, black, nearly black window mullion, and you see there were wood doors and then a screen material, perforated metal at the top. That's one of the other things of the building. We've been trying really hard to screen all mechanical equipment, which is now not screened on the existing building. So this will actually screen almost all of that, which now exists. These are elevations, and they do show the signage that we're proposing. They are hard to see because the signs are pretty small. So maybe that would be brave. There's one sign in this location. Another. These are both on the east elevation, the one that faces, or you can see from Lancaster, and then there's a building name and the typical university, I'll show you in a moment, identification sign that is in the ground, and that faces into the campus. And on the south elevation, which is shown in two pieces because it's too long, there's no signage proposed. And likewise on these other elevations, we're just showing you the signage for the lack of signage for completeness here. This is the standard university sign, and there's all that part that's underground. And I have an example of that coming up, but it's going to have the name of the building in the same way as all the other buildings on the campus are identified. So that's a detail on the bottom of that building identification sign that's freestanding on two posts. It is in blue, Villanova blue, and then the name of the building, we call it a donor sign, but it's really just the name of the building that will be over the main entrance. In the two, one on the east and one on the north. This is very, very small, and I hope you can read your printed ones, but spoiler alert, there's 1,369 square feet of signage that would be permitted, and we're asking for 50. So you can go through it, but it will tell the same story. And these are actually the first of all, the typical Villanova identification sign. That's what we'll have, that blue sign that's freestanding. And right now, the building does actually have signage that will be removed. So that's the signage. It's actually very similar kind of signage that is on the building now and will be replaced in, I think, a slightly more attractive way. Onto the landscaping, there's actually a significant amount of landscape work that's being done as part of this project. And I'm going to point out that there's the area directly around the building. So a lot of concern for stormwater management, partially because of some of the research that goes on within this building. So we've been very pleased to work on that. And also a significant amount of planting that's closer to the road, which we're using to kind of clean up some of the, not this building, but other buildings that are slightly unsightly. So I just did want to point out that all of these are new trees that are very close to Lancaster Avenue. And this is just a detail. There's a lot of planting on the slope. There's not just grass, and that allows captures some stormwater, allows it to flow into the stormwater control system, but is really pretty ornamental. and then goes down into a substantial area of, there's swales, there's 2 basins that will capture stormwater and allow it to flow in a controlled way into the storm sewer, that which does not get absorbed in the ground. And one other thing to note, which is kind of a nice thing, is that we're actually not adding any site lighting. We're just moving the existing site lights around. And it's, it's a campus standard fixture, but there's a very, very small line item in the budget for lighting. So that's it. And that is it. I just hate to end on the lighting plan, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Sure, Jane.
Oh. I did look at the landscape plan, and I think you're going to give Swarthmore a run for their money, as if Swarthmore considers their campus a Scott Arboretum. And I know that one of your landscape person is very interested in plantings, and he's been doing a great job. Only thing I would suggest that you could look at the evergreen trees that are spec'd here, and he may have better ones.
Okay, I will tell him.
I know.
I challenged him on that one, too.
I think he will. They're good I mean, they're trees, but I think they're, I know that like balsam firs and don't like it, the heat of Philadelphia. Eastern white pines tend to lose their branches in storms. And I know that, I think it's Ian, I don't know what his name is. He's Irish, the Irish guy, the man.
Yeah.
He's, yeah. He'll have a few more trees probably up his sleeve.
Okay, all right. Do you have any suggestions specifically?
No.
Okay.
He's quite capable.
Okay.
The rest are great. I mean, you can see that you're planting out the way.
The building?
Oh, I think the building's nice. The building's a big improvement.
Okay. Tim?
No, I like it.
It's starting to look like a real college building.
I imagine it'll be well constructed, given the name.
We should hope so.
So the existing building is currently stone,
It is stone, though, when you look at it,
but you want to match it with what's going on across the street?
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's really, the PAC, it's a little bit, and just it's a very similar stone palette.
So what's the application then for changing stone, or, I mean?
Well,
what's
we're
the
not,
process?
no, we're not removing the
No,
stone
I
on
know
the
you're not
existing
removing
building.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
But, so you're,
The new portion, which adds on to the building, will be in this new nicer
The
stone.
old stuff stays.
But the old stuff will stay.
Okay.
There will be,
The old building
we're
stays
looking
as
at
is.
some ways to fix spots on the existing building,
Okay.
but as
is it
yet.
going to be quite noticeable, or the new to the old, huh?
I think it'll be noticeable, but I don't think it'll be clashing. So
Okay.
that's why we're looking at just making sure that the actual stone selection looks fine.
Okay.
So
One thing is odd. I think, personally, I don't find the existing stone it is stone, but it looks more like concrete. It's very monochrome.
Okay.
And in a way, that's kind of a good thing. So it's not going to be two systems of stone that just are totally, that are almost the same thing but clash. I think that'd be actually a nice compliment.
So after the addition's built on, from what angle will you be able to see the now existing building?
You'll see it from the campus side, where
Right.
you see the two things together, but one is set back pretty far, and from Spring Mill,
You won't be able to
you
see it,
can
right?
see it, except that there's so much planting there, you really won't see the two materials together.
Okay. I noticed I forget what road is fairly close.
Spring
There's no
Mill.
impact to the neighbors with this project?
No, and if you look carefully at the design, we stepped it down in height, with less than the permitted overall height on that wing that comes out.
Okay.
But tall enough also to screen some of the less attractive parts of the 90s building.
Okay, good. What else, guys? Tim? You good? Jane?
No.
You good? Kevin? Any
I
comments?
heard some mention on signage, but it's not in the application, and I took a quick look at the plans and didn't see a whole lot of specifications on the signage.
It didn't, wasn't in.
Okay. Should we ask them to come back?
It's not on the application, so it's not in front of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll ask you to come back for signage. Sure.
Absolutely, because this is, it would be a whole new submission. I mean,
Okay.
How
yeah.
close are you to filling out that donor name? Changing out the donor. Let's get this thing done.
Okay. All right, so we will ask you to come back with a sign package.
Thank you.
It should be pretty simple, but let's go by the book.
It's so, the sign area is so big, it'll take a while.
Right, okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Any other questions? Any other questions, comments?
None.
You guys are all good?
No.
Good. Jane, you're good?
Yeah,
Tim, you're
I'm good.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know who wants to take it.
For DRB 2021-71, Villanova University's addition to their engineering building, I move for approval of the facade and landscaping, and Villanova will return with their signs.
Okay, for a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. All right, any other business for our board tonight? Okay, we'll
No.
see, I guess, in the new year.
I love being on this board.
Great, that's good to hear. All right, have a good holiday. See you next year.
Dream.